Hi, and welcome to the tutorial on making a Bcg matrix using index function. In this part of the tutorial, I am going to explain in brief what an index function does with an example and what a match function does with an example, and how we can use a combination of index and match to construct a Bcg matrix, that is a growth share matrix commonly known in the business world. Now, to start with the index function. The index function returns either the value or the reference from a table or range. So, how does the index function operates? For example, if you want to know the score of B, say in test 2, an index function can return that value. For example, the index function has to return 22 in this case. So, you choose the entire array, that is maths, comma, the row number is 3, comma, the column number is 3, and index function will exactly return 22. This is what an index function does. And now moving on to match function. Match function would not return the value, but it will return the row reference in comparison. For example, match tab, you should look up value C when you have a data validation here. So you look up, for example, value C in this array, and your match type should be exact. You see, in this array, this is the third column and match function has returned that. This is how index and match function work. Moving on, how to use index and match function to construct a Bcg matrix. To start with, what is a Bcg matrix? The Bcg matrix is also known as a growth share matrix for a big company to access its portfolio. For example, a company like GE might have like 1,000 products. Consider a smaller company, for example, with 4 products, say A, B, C and D. You should know which products are strategically important and how to weed them out, weed the other products out. So BCG says that you can classify your products into stars, question marks, cash cows and dogs. Stars are products which have high market growth rate and high market share. Question marks are products which have high market growth rate but relative low market share. Cash cows are products which have no market growth rate but have relative market share. Dogs are products which are poor and you should try them to remove them from your portfolio because they consume a lot of cost but do not bring in more money. So, in order to construct a Bcg matrix, you should have these 3 things in the data sheet. Start with relative market share is nothing but you can see the formula here. It's C4, that is the firm's market share divided by your largest competitor's market share. Either your highest competitor's market share in this case, or in this case my firm has 20%, so I am the market leader. So my second competitor, who is 17%, gives me my relative market share. Rest of them are too simple: market growth and firm's revenue. Now, how to make the chart? Go to insert, go to recommended charts. When you toggle down, you can see bubble chart. Select OK. X-axis is relative market share, Y-axis is market growth. Firm's revenue value is directly proportional to the size of the bubble. And this is how you do it. So right click on the form. But when you notice, you can't classify products into 4 quadrants like here. So what you do is right click, format axis, the midpoint value where your vertical axis should meet the quadrant is 0.7 because 1.4 divided by 2, and also invert the scale and do the same thing. Format axis, here the axis value should be 0.06 and done. Now does this look familiar? This is how your Bcg matrix looks like. And please make a note of all your format axis values because they will come in handy later. I'm going to create something like this. When you enter, you being a CEO of a company, you want to see how your products are doing. You can't just go through everything, right? You might want them to be pictorially represented. That's how I have done this. For example, how is alpha doing? Your alpha is a star. How is beta doing? Your beta is market share, is a dog. Similarly, other products. I'll show you how to create this template. So note down all the values in this format access template. This might be helpful to create the template so that the values don't disappear. Now I'm deleting this. Okay. Now I showed you there are just three things important: relative market share, market growth, and firm's revenue for us to bring up that chart. So I've created a data validation here, which is relatively simple. So when I create data validation, all these values change. Can you see that? How did I do this? So for example, when I choose alpha, for digging out the product range, I have used match function. So when I talk about the match function, you need a reference point. So you can see C15. C15 is nothing but alpha, which is nothing but your data validation. This is C11. So you enter that, then choose your portfolio table, alpha, beta, gamma, and delta, and then search for an exact match. You can see the value changing to 2, 3, and 4. This is how you're gonna embed your match function into your index function for their product row numbers. This is how you make it dynamics. Then comes the problem of the column numbers. Column numbers, in a similar way, all you have to do is remember that your product column you want from 3 different rows. What you do here is go to the product column as relative market share. So when you do this, you can see the match function, which is D14. This is relative market share. So your reference point is this relative market share will be looked for in this column among this entire headers, this full growth, which is your reference, and this value, this column number value will be returned. In this case it's 1. If you want growth, it will be 2. This is how it works. And similarly the other one is 3. Hope you got the point. And now moving on, I'm gonna introduce index function into this. You can see the index functions syntax, right? So when I use the index function, my row number and my column number are already being predetermined using here a row function and a column function. Row is common for all 3, whereas column changes. So I just have to copy and paste this match function into this index function. All that matters is the array function now. So you go to the array, you can see the table 3, 13. I chosen the entire value, that is I chosen the entire row, and then comma E9, which is this value, and E10, which is this value, which gives me this value. Similarly for market growth, I done the same. Hit F2, same reference, you can see E9 and G10, F2. This is how I have manipulated stuff. So now based on this, I have created the same template. For example, select these 3 data, do the same thing, insert, go to the bubble chart option, and you get this template. Input the same thing as I told you before and add text boxes, and after you perfectly edit it, you will get a dynamic template which says where your product exactly lies. Thanks for listening everyone. Thanks a lot.